Good morning, guys, and welcome back to the channel. Well, today is a very exciting day back on Frankenbuggy, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna bend the tubes for this header that I'm putting together. Now, the other day I cut out of some 3/8 plate here. It was actually 3/8 angle iron, so I had to cut a little section of it off because that's all I could find at the scrapyard. I didn't want to go any thinner than that. This stays very, very flat across the motor there. So went ahead and I cut and I drilled and got this flange all together here. And then yesterday I took some parts that we had around here. We had this MagnaFlow muffler and some other parts. We had one section of pipe with the bung and elbow, and I fabricated all that. So we are to the point of bending some tubes. So I got this all set up. Basically that's running parallel to the flange, so I can take measurements off of this line here to make my bends. I got to make just a slight bend going down, and then I'll swing out. I got a 6-inch radius die, so there'll be 4 6-inch radius across here, intersecting with this collector, which I cut off of another exhaust I had around here. So anyways, I am going to start figuring out exactly what my my bends, my lengths, and all that has to be, and hopefully this goes smoothly. Yeah, got the radiator done the other day, now the exhaust. We're almost ready for fire, so very exciting what's going on Frankenbuggy these days. Anyways, I'm gonna get my bender ready to go, and then I'll bring you guys back, and let's bend some tubing, make a header today. Yeah. All right, guys, well, I tell you, this is some pretty tedious work, but I got tube number 1 in there. So I had to do just a slight bend there, and then the big 6-inch radius there. So what's funny is I'm like trying to figure out what order I'm going to put these in. Now this one here, I'm thinking I'm going to swing that on down to grab this here, and then these two will be the top two. So that's the game plan. I think that's what I'm going to work on. Go ahead, like these two far ones will be at the bottom, and then these two will be at the top. Swing there and there. All right, let's see how the next one turns out. Oh yeah. Well, guys, I tell you, there was a bit of a learning curve here. I have a double bend here. I want to put a little bend right there, and then this big sweeper here. Well, there was room on this one. This one here actually ran into part of the die system there and put a dent in that. Now, the first time I thought I'd like start on one end and then move it in, but by the time I got the whole 90 in there, it still did that. This was my first attempt at it, and it just ran that die. I'll show you guys right here. See this guy right here, that rides along the tubing and it follows the die. Now, what I tried to do was pull that sucker off of there just to get a little bit further, and what it did was run this into it, into the piece of tubing, which still kinked it. So the last two pieces I am just going to go without putting that that little bend in it, and I'm just gonna have to cut at an angle because yeah, it's in fact, I don't think I'm gonna have enough tubing to even finish this job because of the one wasted piece. But I did what I could to heat that up and from the inside pry it out, but It ain't perfect, guys. But as far as performance, I don't think that's going to matter much. I'll lose sleep over it, but we won't lose any horsepower. Anyways, other than that, yeah, this is starting to look pretty cool. So I got enough tubing here to get one more piece done, and unless I welded a bunch of pieces together, which I don't I don't want to do that. So I'll get the last one done. That'll be it till I gotta wait till Monday when the tubing place opens up. I do have this one piece. Let me see. This was a bumper, but this is 095 tubing. So it's too thick. I could use it for the short piece. I don't know. Maybe I will, because it is just that one last little piece that I'll not have done. And those are already bent to the 90, so let me see. We might do that just to get this done. But in the meantime, I'm going to work on this. Let's get this one done. And I'm just not going to put that small bend in, and I'm just going to do a 90. And like I said, I'll have to cut a little angle instead of coming straight out of the flange there. So anyways, guys, I'll see you in a bit. Well, guys, that's it for today. Yeah, got all the tubes on there. There's a couple of chingas I did, but right there, and where's the other one? Oh, up in there. But you know, it's not the end of the world. Tomorrow I'm going to pull it all off and weld it up tight. And I actually want to crank this motor. We can't start it because we don't have the computer yet, but I want to crank it and feel some air coming through it, you know, just for the heck of it. But yeah, I think that's looking pretty dang awesome. So I did some welds, but I'm gonna pull it off, weld it up tight. I'm thinking of running some Allen head screws in there. But yeah, and let's mount that up tomorrow. So I'm gonna finish this this video up tomorrow after I do the last couple of things, and you know, so that's it for today. We'll see you in the morning. Good morning, guys. Well, I am going to pull this header off and finish welding this up here. Now, looks like I have room to run beads, but I was thinking running my beads all the way around on the inside, because one thing I hate about headers is when you're trying to mount them, getting them off and on, especially the small block Chevy, my goodness, and you can't even get a socket on the nut to tighten things up. So since I'm building these from scratch, I am going to make it simple. Looks like there's plenty of room there. Now this hole is off just a tiny bit, so I'm gonna have to take my little Dremel tool and clean that up a little, that hole up a little bit, bring it this way. Just about 32nd of an inch will do that. But the top, there's plenty of room. So yeah, I'm gonna be running welds on the inside of stuff for the top and the bottom. This here, one thing that happens is you can weld all the way around here, but on the inside there, it'll leak. So from the inside of the collector, I got to weld those tubes together also. So I'm going to get this pulled off, spark up the welder. Let's finish welding this up. Now the airbox, will be mounted right about here. I just got to put tabs here, boop, boop, and pick these bolts up here. So There's got to be plenty of room to do a U-turn here and stay out of the way of the cooling system there. So it's all planned, ready to go, and I'm ready to get to work. So let's pull that header off and do some welding. All right, guys, well, this thing is awfully cool looking, huh? I like that. We got a masterpiece going on here. So let's get these welds all done and put it back on there. This time we'll put it on with the gasket. Got this little baby right here. Then we'll get that airbox mounted, and that'll be it for this video. The next one's going to be the cooling system and the fuel system. Get those two going. Then it's just a matter of parts. Computer. We got that air conditioner delete thing coming. So, anyways, let's get this header welded up. It looks like I'm gonna have to make a little piece to fit in there out of some flat bar. Yeah, it's pretty close to a square. And then I gotta weld all those gaps. Any gaps between the tubing there is gonna be a major exhaust leak. All right. Let's see what I can come up with. All right, guys, no leaks there. So we're good to go. I'm gonna run to the hardware store, get some fresh bolts to mount this thing. And but yeah, look at that. Equila. Custom header for Frankenbuggy. All right, guys, I'll be back in a bit. I went ahead and I ran some beads on the inside here to kind of double up the strength of the joint between the flange and the tubing there. So I'll clean them up with this really neat little tool here. Industrial die grinder. I tell you what, I picked that up for 20 bucks at a yard sale. Best thing I ever bought. But we're good and clean in there. Yeah, we're ready to go. And this is all. That's all sealed up in there. So this header is ready to go back on. So let's get that going. All right, guys, why don't we get this thing mounted? Put that gasket on there. That's a tight fit. Okay. Guess there's an upside and downside. All right, guys, this brand new exhaust system is on there good and tight. Holy cow. Looks cool too. All right, now let's figure out what we're going to be doing. With this Airbox. Needs to be far enough away from that header system so it doesn't melt. So I think if it's up just like, I got to be able to get that lid off of there too. So it's going to be sitting just about like that. So let's get some tabs welded on here, shoot them screws through and see how that looks, and then we'll worry about plumbing it. Got to clean out that throttle body there, and then like I said, after that gets done, then we got to get the fuel and the cooling system all hooked up. So yeah, more work to do. Let's get that Airbox mounted. All right, guys, I think that'll do it. Let's, yeah, I think that'll get some air. It's all mounted good and tight. Got the exhaust going. Got some clearance there. No problem routing the plumbing here. Yeah, old Frankenbuggy's coming together. All right, guys, that is it for this video. Thanks a lot for watching. And if you haven't liked and subscribed and all that stuff, you know, however that stuff works, you guys know. Go ahead and give me a like, give me a subscribe. And yeah, next we are going to be doing some plumbing. But look at that. Looking good. Everybody have a good evening, and we'll see you on the next one.